if you want.
Nope, I need you because I'm not a good reader. Hey everybody, we're gonna do another Q&A. I feel like you're sitting close to me.
Whoa, where are you? I'm not even in.
You're good, you're in there. All right.
Okay, so I'll sit over here.
No, come into the frame.
No, I just don't want to sit too close to you. I just don't want to.
We're gonna do a Q&A. Okay, so I have a few questions. Most of the time they're about punishment, like that's the answer. But sometimes we get some where folks want to teach wanted behaviors. If that's the case, we do a lot of reward-based for that. So depends what kind of questions we got, if we're talking reward or punishment tonight. Let's
Ready?
go.
All right, first is from April Messenger. She says, Whitney, we have Frosty, who is Gatsby, and he loves running in the field, chasing geese. Eek, LOL. But he has truly enjoyed the field we have. With that said, my husband has accepted a position in more of a suburban area in Canada. Frosty will have a backyard, but nothing like our country home in PA. We will balance between the two locations over the next year, but wonder if there's anything I can do to keep him, quote, happy and free, unquote, while in Canada. He travels well and has adjusted well. I just want to keep him in a good state of mind while in Ottawa. Any suggestions? P.S. We absolutely love Frosty. He has been such a lover and giver to our family. I can't thank you enough.
Hey, April, good to hear from you. Actually, I was thinking about you, so I'm glad you messaged us. I'm glad to hear that Frosty's doing good. Congratulations on the new job, and best wishes there. Don't worry about it. Like, as far as like the dog doesn't know that he was in the country. Does that make sense? Like, if you have a nice yard, teach your dog a good recall, a good reliable recall. I have a video on how to do that on my YouTube channel. You do it with a food, a long line, and a remote collar. Practice that about, I don't know, 200 times, 250 times. And then once you practice it that much, you move on to accountability level. And then you turn your backyard into a place where he can be free. So the dog didn't know that he was in the country on whatever, 3 acres. You know what I mean? Like, Danielle lives in a development. You're not really supposed to have dogs off leash, but she does, right? So, like, her dogs at the development, they don't know that they're in the development in a smaller yard versus like when they're here and they have 64 acres they could run on. They just don't think that way. So, just teach them a good recall and let them just be free in your new backyard. But I'm never going to advocate for leaving your dog outside unattended. So always make sure that you're out there with him. If you hadn't been doing that in the country, definitely start doing that now. But good to hear from you. Congratulations on the new job, and let me know if you need anything else. All right, next.
Jennifer Renee, and she put a couple questions. So her first one was, what are some signs of a dominant dog? What can you do to make sure your dog doesn't become dominant? How old are they when they start showing it? How to make sure an only dog doesn't become dominant or territorial?
Okay, so, I mean, sort of a loaded question. Dominance, it presents itself in different ways. So a lot of times people think of dominance from your power breed dogs. Like they think, okay, a dominant dog is your Rottweilers, your Dobermans, your German Shepherds. I mean, I've seen some pretty hardcore, like dominant, like Golden Retrievers. I see a lot of dominance in little dogs, and little dogs, meanwhile, you're not dominant at all.
Not at all, but you're adorable.
We see a lot of dominance in little dogs because people don't hold them to a higher standard. Dominance can show its face in different ways. I can have a dog who's looks adorable, and from your average dog owner looking in, you'll be like, oh, you know, I don't see anything wrong with this. And the dog is totally leaned up against me with his paw on my foot. That's a sign of dominance. Dogs that are jumping, constantly jumping. Sometimes it's playful. Sometimes I've had dogs jump on my back and grab their paws around, you know, like around my legs to try to dominate me. So there's a lot of like different cues. When does dominance present itself? I mean, I've seen 5-week-old puppies, 6-week-old puppies start to show dominant tendencies. It's not always necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's just their personality. But you got to keep it in check. How do you keep it in check? Your will is always stronger. It's always stronger. Lots of structure, rules, accountability, and it'll keep it in check.
All right.
Next.
She also wanted to know, how do I get my dog to stop trying to eat sticks and rocks and other foreign objects? He's so obsessed with these items that I can't just let him run in the yard with me even if I'm watching him the whole time. He has to be on a leash with a prong so we can stop him from picking it up, because once he gets it, he'll try to run with it since he knows we're going to take it, or he tries to swallow it before we can stop him.
Yep. Yeah, so that's not good. I think your dog is pushing up against 6 months old. Pretty sure. If I'm thinking right, we need to teach that dog the out command, and we do that easily with the remote collar. We do that. So we put the remote collar on the dog, and we slowly dial up on a low level. Slowly, as we say out, 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 and then the dog will spit out the toy or the rock or whatever. And so then the word out then has meaning to the dog. So we easily do that with a remote collar, which the cool thing is, I think I have you on my schedule for this coming week, and we'll do that. So I'll get you covered there, but that's how you do it, with a remote collar.
Okie dokie. So last question, Sherry Smith. Whitney, we have transitioned our 5-month-old puppy Maxine into a larger kennel, but not too large, and she hates it. She barks and barks, even tried to squeeze her head through the latch door, causing her head to nearly get stuck, and sometimes pees in it. How can we transition her so it's not so traumatizing?
So, dog was in a crate?
Yeah, they're
Then
transitioning her into a larger.
And so the dog didn't like the larger crate.
Yes.
Okay.
Dog hates the larger crate.
Don't worry about the traumatizing part. And I know that sounds like heartless or whatever, but the dog just doesn't like the crate. And really, that's going to come in time. But what you need to tell the dog is knock it off. That's what you need to tell her. How do you do that? She's a puppy, 5-month-old puppy. Walk over, hit the top of the crate, say no, hit the top of the crate. Firm, like not like wimpy, firm. And then when she's really quiet, then you say good, you walk over, drop a piece of food into the crate. Sort of a counter conditioning protocol there. But you got to tell her to knock it off. And I don't care what you read on the internet or what anybody tells you, like it's common for people to say, well, won't that make it worse? Like the dog's in the crate, the dog is already insecure in the crate, the dog doesn't want to be in the crate, and then you're going to walk up and hit the top of it? Won't that make it worse? It won't make it worse. Like the dog already doesn't like the crate. So don't worry about that. I've never seen it. I've never seen it to where we've corrected a dog in the crate and then the dog hate it worse. Like we only see it get better. So do that. And then like here, when we get dogs in for training, if they're, acting naughty in the crate, we'll just correct them on the remote collar. So that's easy. That's just no and, a tap on the remote collar. But 5-month-old puppy just sits top of the crate. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
All right, good deal. All right, that was a short one. Well, hope those answers helped. Appreciate you guys reaching out, and don't ever hesitate to do so in the future.